Hey there. Before I get started, I'd like to take a moment to describe a few of these large terms that will be coming up throughout this presentation. First, transboundary water management. It's a type of water management that occurs in river basins that cross jurisdictional boundaries, often international boundaries, but in the case of my research, state boundaries. And institutions may include laws, policies, norms, organizations, and while our research looked into laws and policies governing water resources, when I use the term institutions in this presentation, it's generally meant to mean the organizations that control water in river basins. So, the ACF Basin, Apalachicola-Chattahoochee-Flint, it's composed of these three rivers and is located in Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. And while this region has historically had numerous and abundant water resources, recent decades have seen expanded population growth and irrigated agriculture leading to increased demands for water. This combined with periodic severe or moderate droughts have led to water shortages and a highly litigious interstate water dispute. Brief history of the water dispute. It first began in the 1980s when the Corps sought to get Congress's approval to store water for municipal purposes, i.e. metropolitan Atlanta, in reservoirs of the ACF River Basin. Soon after, Alabama said no and filed suit against this decision. And for the next number of years, things were relatively quiet when the three states came together in attempts to come up with an agreement on how water to be allocated in the ACF Basin. However, in 2003, when these negotiations dissolved without an agreement, litigation ensued, and this can best be described as everybody sued everybody. And so, we come to near current time. The Corps was given a mandate to update this water control manual that they've been trying to update since the 80s. And the Supreme Court agreed to hear Florida versus Georgia. So litigation is likely to continue for years to come. During this time, a group of water users throughout the basin determined they were frustrated with this endless litigation without actually finding solutions. And so they came together to see if they can come up with better and more sustainable ways to manage the waters of the basin. This organization is representative of all the major water uses in the basin and all the major geographic regions. In order to accomplish this mission of more sustainable water management, they embarked on two projects. One, a sustainable water management plan being conducted by researchers at the Georgia Water Resources Institute and private consultants. And then the other, an institutional options project to look at different institutions that might be able to facilitate transboundary water management of the ACF Basin. And this is where my role has been primarily. For this institutional options project, we had a whole bunch of phases where we looked to other basins to see how they were managing water across state lines, and we made recommendations for the ACF River Basin. These recommendations were based on consensus of the stakeholders that we worked with and our previous research. We gave three options for a transitional organization and listed out 4 initial functions that might be undertaken by a permanent transboundary water management institution. And with that, I'd like to thank you.